Oh, good evening, everybody. Welcome into 615 Preps Live, presented by AccuWorks. Week number 6 around the area and the halfway point of the regular season. I know nobody wants to hear that, but it's the truth.
I don't like talking about it.
Bummer, man. Why you got to be such a bummer, man?
That's my job. I'm not Debbie Downer, but I'm close. But on a positive note, a fun week of football last Friday night. Let's just dive right in and talk about it. Guys, what stood out to you the most, other than maybe Andre Adams?
Well, that was the news, Chris.
Can't make it that easy on you.
Yeah. God, how dare you? How about NBA?
No.
How about NBA going to Knoxville and picking up a really big win over Knox Catholic? Really impressed by them. Can't help but be impressed by them. I mean, that's huge to go on the road. We all picked against them. One of us will apologize to them. Spoilers. Yeah, I don't know. I to me, they outside of Andre, which Andre was the headline there. For me, it was NBA.
Yeah, I think it has to be NBA. And unfortunately, the injury bug hit us in a few areas last week, and that's a disappointing takeaway from last week. But it's a takeaway that has to be considered, especially when you consider a talent like Jackson Stroup at Gallatin, done for his senior season. Westmoreland's starting running back, done for the season. So it was a tough week for those kids and those kids' families and those teams. But unfortunately, that is part of high school athletics, and you have to try to find a way to move on.
I think probably for me, aside from the fact that I may have had probably the best pork chop sandwich I've had, Joe can attest to that. We went out to Joe Burns. Was really the emergence of Petey Smith for Ezel Harding. Put up 324 yards, I believe. Just seemed to not be able to be stopped. Very impressive. That offense is very impressive. And, he was a big part of that truthfully and on both sides of the ball. So really, to me, that, and then, boy, it turned around because I think he picked up like 3 offers in the last week. Yeah. So, or at least 3 invites. Let's put it that way.
He got 2 offers, and he's had a couple invites. So
yeah. So, I mean, that's just how quickly it is when you ball out. Teams will find you.
Yep. Okay, now we can talk about Andre Adams and the night that he had over at Centennial.
I think we all expected him to have a pretty good night, but that was that was a coming out party for on. I mean, all the national outlets are now like, "Oh, Andre Adams is one of the best." We know. We've been telling you that. You don't pay attention unless somebody does something big. The kid's been a freak athlete since he was a freshman. He's turned an Antioch program around that was bad for a while. Coach Bream comes there, turns it around. Andre's there leading the charge. Brandon Galladay, he doesn't get enough credit. That kid's a monster. Yep. Antioch's hot right now. And if you're not on the Bears bandwagon, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, this week I've actually watched more film this week on different teams than I've watched probably all season. And I went back and watched some of Andre's highlights from last season and then watched the spotlight film against Centennial. His growth, haven't seen him a few weeks ago at East Nashville as well. His growth from his sophomore to junior year has been exceptional. If he does that again going into his senior season next year, you're talking about a kid, in my opinion, he may not be a top 5 player like Jared Curtis in the country, but he's the same caliber type of quarterback as Jared Curtis if he makes that leap again going into his senior season next year.
To me, I agree 100% with you, Cam. To me, it's like watching Lamar Jackson as a rookie take that next jump between his second and third year, where Andre ran the ball a lot his freshman and sophomore year, and then he'd throw it a little bit too. I mean, he put up good numbers. This year, he's doing it all, and nobody can stop him.
He's still more of a throw-first quarterback now. He's better in his decision-making department. That's what I think has improved the most since last year, is that he's trying to make the play downfield first, and then if it's not there, use his legs and the talent he's got to go get yards downfield. And that really was what was kind of a perfect storm against Centennial, and that the stuff downfield was open for a while. When it wasn't, he took it.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that to me, Chris, is exactly what you said. The decision-making skills. He's not putting the ball at risk. He's making good, solid throws, and he's running when he has to. That's the thing the other night at Centennial. When he had to run, he took off. He extended drives, but only when it was not the first, it was not the first decision. Yeah, absolutely. Chris, we knew about this guy because, I bought new shoes and you were stretching. We knew we were going to be running up and down the field that game.
And here's the crazy thing about that performance is that we know about the yardage record, but it didn't really seem like it was going to be in reach. And then find out later on that he broke it by a yard. It was just that kind of night where he was just efficient. I mean,
yeah, and we'd be remiss to not mention how, and he would back this up because he's such a good teammate and good kid. The receivers were exceptional on Friday night, and his offensive line to this point in the season has been a lot better than a lot of people expected. They lost, I think, 3 starters on that offensive line coming into this season. So,
including an NC State commitment.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah.
And that was my biggest question about Antioch was the offensive line and what kind of steps they would take. They've taken some steps so far and really improved a lot in a short amount of time.
He's done a really good job helping his offensive line with quick throws. And I think that goes to the play calling of Arcente Broom. We see a lot of quick passes, a lot of now he still throws. I mean, Chris and I were there. It was 3rd down, and I think the PA announcer said 3rd down and Drury in, but it was 3rd and 30. I don't know. That was a flipping lazy. Yeah, it was a flipping laser. So he can still wing it, but a lot of the quick passes, the quick decision making, not having to that makes it easier for the line not to have to extend their blocks and hold.
Yep. Zach made a comment about Bryson Harrison scoring 5 touchdowns behind that huge Fairview offensive line. That's true. And spoiler alert, I will see that Fairview offensive line Friday night. They're going to Sycamore for that big region contest. I'll be up there for that one.
Be right down the road.
Yeah, you won't even be home. So
I know. And that the region championship, guys, October 24th, Antioch at Clarksville.
Yeah.
So
yeah, kind of what we expected there.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about some rankings first. Week 6 is not bringing a lot of change in the top 5s. Large class stayed the same, didn't it?
Yeah, and that'll change after this week. I mean, we got number 1 taking on number 5. We got number 2 taking on number 4. You got Ravenwood taking on CPA. We'll get to it in a bit. This week is loaded with just incredible matchups. All these teams took care of business last week, did what they were supposed to do. You can't really change them around.
Same thing in the medium class as well. Top 5, they don't move.
No.
But we will see that.
We'll have number 1 versus number 3. That's our spotlight game, like we already put out there. Page has got a big one against Centennial. Springfield, big one against Pearl Cone and Macon County. They just keep taking care of business. You could argue Beach should be in the top 5, but unfortunately for them, the teams ahead of them just haven't lost.
Right.
One swap in the small class, 4 and 5, Whites Creek and East Nashville flip-flop.
And that's solely just because East Nashville lost. Even if it was by a point, you got to drop them down a spot. Whites Creek is taking care of business. Anybody questioning why East Nashville is ranked, they're 0-4. Yeah, we get it. Go look at who they've played. And they're not losing. Their biggest loss is by 14. It is what it is. They've played a brutal schedule. Once they get in the region schedule, they'll start taking care of business. Not worried about East Nashville. If you think this is not a top 5 team, you haven't watched football this year.
Yeah, and that's an East Nashville team that's also been without one of their best weapons up until last week in Kenny Fuller. So it's going to be interesting to see now that East Nashville's through that real tough part of their opening part of their schedule, as they get into region play, got a huge one in week 11 against East Robertson. But until you get there, you got several weeks where you can kind of hone in and start to build momentum.
And Jonathan, I don't think so. Just seeing what Baylor did to them last week.
They've taken a lot of lumps, and it's going to stay difficult for them given the way that these Division II AAA teams have played. This is a year that CPA has to just kind of build for the future.
Yeah.
All right. 3 stars of the week coming up here just in a second. Let you know that voting is now open for the week 5 finalists, which we're going to announce here in just a moment. But let's look at week 4 and those 3 stars of the week. First off, Lipscomb Academy's J.C. White took a ton of votes, and he gets first-star honors. Macon County's Cameron Miller goes to the second-star honors, and then D.K. Williams from Beach takes third star.
And take it is what he did. He takes everything.
Now on to this week's finalists, and it's a loaded group. Let's start. Aubrey Adams, we've already mentioned him. 714 yards of total offense, 507 through the air, 207 on the ground. He was 19 to 27 passing, had 4 touchdowns through the air, 18 carries for 207 and 2 more scores in that 54-40 win at Centennial. Kanan Burrows from Green Hill, 14 to 23 through the air, 248 yards, 3 touchdowns. Also had 8 carries for 124 yards and 2 more scores in that win at Gallatin. Brandon Galladay, Andre Adams' main target, 7 catches for 268 yards and a touchdown in that win at Centennial, including that big long second and 34 that they converted near the end of the third quarter to flip things. Bryson Harrison, we mentioned him just a moment ago, 22 carries for 219 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 receptions for 34 yards and a score. They won at Stewart County 42-7. The guy they're going to face, Hicks Hunter from Sycamore, 19 carries, 176 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 catch for 73 yards and a score as they beat Harpeth 41-10. Knox Lambert from Grace Christian, 17 to 25 through the air, 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. They won 35-7 at Columbia Academy. Caden Powell from Beach had himself a night, 4-7 passing for 71 and a touchdown, 22 carries, 210 yards, 3 scores in that win at Upperman. P.D. Smith, Scott, you mentioned him, 13 carries, 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9 tackles, a tackle for a loss and a sack on defense in that 35-21 win at Joe Burns. And then Friendship Christian's Blake Waldorf, 9 of 11 through the air, 310 yards and 2 touchdowns, 6 carries for 51 yards and 2 more scores. They beat Clarksville Academy 42-26. That's a loaded group, guys.
Yeah. I mean,
it was a very, very explosive week. Every guy on this list deserves, you can rightfully have an argument for them to be one of the 3 stars. I will add, Caden Powell slid down with under a minute to go against Upperman, or else he would have had another touchdown.
And I'm going to bring us back on screen for just a minute because I want to mention something. This is fan voted. This is completely fan voted, but you're going to be voting for 4 stars of the week this week. Yeah. Andre Adams is the number 1 star, plain and simple, and I'm not taking any argument against it. You're going to vote for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th this week. So keep voting. 4 kids are getting honored this week, not 3. That's all I got.
He's the chief.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue against that.
I mean,
he broke
that
a state
record-setting performance. Yes, I mean, we're going to just vault him to number 1 because he deserves it, and then we're going to put 3 more on there. So, more for everybody.
Yep.
Line of the week honors, Scott. Ravenwood's defense did the job.
Yeah, Ravenwood's defense did a tremendous job this week, and if I would get my head out of my keister, I'd actually have these stats pulled up. Held Franklin to 8 yards of total offense, including negative 59 yards net rushing. They held the Raptors held Franklin to 6 first downs, had 5 sacks. I don't care who you are. That is a tremendous stat line. And because of that, Ravenwood's defense, they get the honors this week.
Yeah, that rushing number right there make you just want to run a tush push on every down.
Until NFL defense.
Yep.
Or the officials.
Yeah. Crybabies.
All right, so congratulations to all the honorees for our 3 stars of the week and for the line of the week. And this show is presented by AccuWorks. AccuWorks is a full-service property damage restoration company that offers around-the-clock emergency service 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for the past 20 years in Middle Tennessee. Jeff Stockton and his team of industry veterans specialize in restoration projects for your home or business, fire restoration, smoke cleaning, water damage and mold remediation, storm damage restoration, general contracting, and much more. Our commitment is to assess each situation quickly and correctly to provide you the most efficient and complete restoration plan that meets your specific needs. AccuWorks performs emergency service and restoration for property owners across Middle Tennessee. With locations in Nashville and near you, our professional staff are minutes away from helping with your property damage emergency. Quality work, professionalism, and integrity have been the backbone of our company since 2006. Call us now at 615-292-2009 or toll free at 888-779-2228 or visit our website at AccuWorks.com. Lookout Pest Control. Sorry,
Go ahead.
Lookout Pest Control has sponsored the Love to Hate and Iron Brigade for this season. And that's important because tonight at 9 o'clock after we wrap up, Love to Hate, the Sumner County rivalry between Gallatin and Hendersonville takes center stage on our YouTube channel at 9 p.m. this evening.
Oh, cool.
It's a banger. I watched it yesterday. Isaac did an incredible job. Even you beach fans will enjoy watching it.
That's right.
I was going to say we have our weekly question for Joe in the Facebook comments.
Yeah, that's So, Joe, why do you hate Portland?
This one's tough. Oh God. Man, I hope Dustin's not watching.
You know he is.
Well, when I was in high school, my biggest rival wore purple and white, and I just have a disdain for those colors. And that's not even a joke. I hate purple and white. Purple is one of my least favorite colors. Just not about it. But no, I definitely do not hate Portland. They've been really kind to me, and I'm hoping to get up there to a game at some point this season, especially to see that new stadium. From what I've seen, the light show and everything, it looks really nice.
I thought for sure you're going to say because of the train.
The what?
The train that runs right behind the field.
I've never been up there, so
Yeah,
how would he know?
Yeah,
How would
the
he
train
know?
horn
He just knows it.
is very, very well known.
It's a little frightening and disconcerting when it comes rolling down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right behind the visitor side, I guess. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been up there too.
Yeah.
It's unmistakable for sure, though.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Love to Hate, the Sumner County rivalry, 9 o'clock tonight on our YouTube channel. That'll be a live premiere for us for that show. So make sure and stick around after that. All right. This is the part that I don't want to have to do, but we got to do it. Yeah. This is
You know
a
what's
quick
crap?
for apologies.
You know what's crap is that we're the only ones apologizing. Isaac hasn't had to apologize. Tyson hasn't had to apologize. Connor, freaking KJ, none of them have to apologize. We're the only ones on here doing anything. I need those guys to apologize. This is crap.
Now, wait a minute. Now, KJ apologized
Might be onto
last
something.
week.
Yes, he did.
That's true.
Yeah.
I need consistent apologies.
Okay.
Well, I get that.
I could give you the floor for a couple more minutes if you want. I mean, that's we have
You know
time.
what? I'll go first.
So I think from this point forward, at least one of the guys that are not on the show, has to submit a apology video.
I agree.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
Yep.
KJ's off the hook, so it needs to be Tyson or it needs to be
Isaac.
Tyson went and saw Brentwood lose to Page, and he didn't do an apology.
Did you expect him to do an apology? Have you
Totally
met
on brand.
Tyson?
Tyson, it's you. Actually, Connor will be at a game this week, so we'll have him do something.
Yeah.
I'll go first.
All right. Let's go.
You know what? I'm not going to apologize for myself. I'll apologize on behalf of everyone at 615 Preps because we all picked against NBA. Mentioned them earlier. The Big Red went to Knoxville. Scott said they needed to play a perfect game, and they did. I mean, they did. Simple as that. They didn't let Knoxville Catholic's offense get hot. They rallied from a first half deficit, outscored them 13-0 in the second half, and got a big win to stay unbeaten. Well, you'll see our picks later for Baylor. I mean, one of us maybe. Yeah, we'll see. It's a different ball game there, but sorry to the NBA Big Red for picking against you and doing the logical thing that everybody else did last week.
All right, that's fair.
I just wanted to get Cam off, and it worked.
The logical thing
that everybody else did.
Speaking of Cam, you had to apologize to Good Pasture. So here's that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Cam with 615 Preps here. Good Pasture victorious over JP2 30-21. Caden Stroud 3 touchdowns tonight. Caden, it's time to take care of business on my end. Picked against you guys this week. I kind of put it out there that Good Pasture, they appear to be inching their way back, but needed that significant win. I didn't have the confidence to give it to you this week, so I have to own up. I have to apologize, be a big man, and congratulations on a huge win and helping Good Pasture start that climb back.
I appreciate it. It's all good.
I have a complaint.
Uh-oh.
When you apologize, you have to be in the camera. Somebody has to film it.
Well, quit sending me places by myself.
Get a player to film it.
Or a coach. I've done it before.
Yeah.
Scott is a prime example, and he definitely did get the apology this week.
Yeah.
You copped out of it.
Speaking of Scott, you know what? I think we may have something here with that. I just have to do some graphics for your complaint.
Yes.
I'm for it. Scott, I'm going to let you off the hook because we're having technical difficulties with your video. I know you sent it. So it'll go on Instagram immediately after the show.
Oh, Joe's going to be mad.
Yeah, I know. It is not.
Those kids are going to be.
I got it. Hold on.
You got it?
Hold on.
If you can pull it. But I'm going to have to teach Scott how to send it in the right format.
I didn't send it.
I shot the video. It's normal. It's the normal video.
Don't blame me.
Well then I guess it's your fault then.
No, it's technology's fault. I do nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Apology, Joe. Right now, I have a complaint.
Evidently.
Yeah. There we go. Give him a sign or something that says I have a complaint.
Go ahead and do your stuff, Chris, because I know yours is funny.
All right, fine. Yeah. You know what? I can't apologize to anybody we did this week because and that's why I hate dogs.
You hate dogs? What's wrong with you?
I don't hate dogs, but I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking it anymore.
I know Ezel kids are pissed right now.
You're a lot better than Tom Brady.
Do we have it? Do we have it?
Maybe. Shit. No, what is happening?
Uh-oh.
Notre Dame lost again.
Hold it. Hold on. Oh.
What?
Hold on.
Maybe
we can salvage this. Hold on. We can salvage this. Hey, here we go. Hold on. I just re-downloaded that. So, yeah, here we go.
Scott.
All right.
Hi, this is Scott Burton, 615 Preps. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. I picked against the Eagles. Yep. And what can I say? They proved me wrong. They did it on the field. I'm sorry. I apologize wholeheartedly. Please let me leave Cedar Hill alive.
Okay, that's one of the best reactions.
I was waiting for a Gatorade bath.
I was too. I was hoping it would happen, but alas, it
I
didn't.
was surprised it didn't. But no,
I got away
great
with it.
kids.
I got away with it. I just got to film.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, great kids. They had a spectacular performance. Good game, really good game.
Yeah, it was a really good game. I mean, Joe Burns ended up making it a game after going down early. So
Yep. Yeah, those kids are great, and Coach Stewart, Coach Stewart's got a really good program, and he's really building it. So yeah, I did. That was one apology I didn't mind making, just kind of glad that they didn't hurt me.
Well, that's what makes it fun, though, when you have kids that react that way and play along with it, and don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
That's all.
Which, hey, more kids should
And
do. It ain't that serious.
It's an important question here. Where's the green hair paint, Scott?
It's somewhere else in this house. I wasn't apologizing twice in a row. I don't have much hair left. Okay, I need to keep what I've got. But rest assured that I've learned my lesson, Chris.
All right. So we have hit the halfway point of the regular season, and it's a good time to do a little bit of a check-in just to kind of see where we think teams are compared to where we might have had them at the beginning of the year. So my first question to you guys is, as far as the teams that we had at the top, who has surprised you the most, and maybe who has kind of not lived up to your expectations to this point?
Cam, you go first.
As far as I'll go surprise first if we want to do surprises, and then we'll circle back around for letdowns if that's good for y'all.
Go for it.
Surprise for me, Blackman. We thought Blackman could be competitive as they were last year with Oakland in a tight ball game, another close game with Riverdale last year. What they've been able to do on the defense side of the ball up front and in that experienced secondary has only been amplified by what they've found on offense with Jabari Kemp running the ball, with Braylon Odor at tight end, and with the quarterback, Javion Elliott. They're very, very impressive, and I've said it for a few weeks now. I think they have the best chance out of our area teams to knock off Oakland, and I'm excited to get out there and see that one. But Blackman has really put it all together so far.
Scott, you got one?
Truthfully, the one that's kind of surprised me and probably shouldn't have has been Page. Not by the fact that they're winning, but how well they're winning, how good that offense is. I mean, this was a team that hung its hat on defense all last year, and we knew they lost a lot. And we were concerned about would they be able to maintain that same kind of pace that they had last year. And for me, they've exceeded. They may be better in some respects than last year's team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And for that, that's a team that probably shouldn't have surprised me, but has.
And Joe apparently is perpetually frozen.
My internet went out, and now I'm back. So,
Okay.
What happened there? Where do we leave off? Scott said Page.
Scott's Page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go, Chris, or do I need to go?
I've not yet. I'm gonna hand you the floor.
I'll go NBA. Off to a 4-0 start. Thought they'd probably be 2-2, 2-3 at this point. Admittedly, just kind of looking at who they played. Wasn't sure about the Pearl Cone game. Wasn't really sure about. I kind of thought FRA might beat them when they played. Unfortunately, that game got rained out, and then Knox Catholic, I had them losing to them too. So, really impressed by them. There's another obvious answer that I just spaced on, and I just realized who it was. And Chris, you may end up picking them.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, White's Creek is there for me. No, okay, fair enough. I thought White's Creek had a chance to be good this year, but they've played beyond my expectations so far. Them and Antioch. I mean, Antioch to me, again, I thought they'd be really good, but the way they played so far, better than expected. So they're surprises, but in a good way.
GCA.
There's another one.
Yeah.
I know they haven't played the hardest schedule, but they're beating the teams they should beat. And GCA is another one that's right up there with me. Now the back half of their schedule is brutal, so we'll get a good idea of just how good they are come this week, really, with Davidson Academy coming to town or them hosting.
Okay. All right. Now on the other side of it, teams that maybe we thought might be up there or better, and then maybe not have played as well as they could have so far.
Kind of shocked by Franklin, admittedly. I kind of thought they'd be better than they have been. Just kind of shocked that, I figured they'd be a solid 3 in that region, competing for 2 just because of how much Brentwood lost. But some shocking losses by them this year.
I'm going to say Father Ryan. I thought Father Ryan would. I know that they've had some injuries and some issues with their team, and they have a new coach, a new system, and all that. But I thought offensively they'd be a little bit better than they showed. Now last week they did have a little bit more of an offensive resurgence, but consistency it's just not there yet, and it just may be growing pains in that program.
Yeah, I'm going to stay with the private school ranks, and this one's going to. They've not really had, maybe not their results, but the way they've performed. I'm going to go with CPA, just because I feel like going into the season we thought their strong points. Right, we knew it was going to be a tough, really, really, really tough schedule, toughest schedule in the state, no doubt. But the offensive line. The run game with Rawls Patterson has kind of been hit or miss. Defensively, they've not been a CPA team that we're accustomed to. Now, that has a little bit to do with the opponents, but
a little bit.
Going into the season, it's real simple. Going into the season, did we expect them to get blown out in 3 out of 5 games?
Yeah. Tupelo for sure. Moeller for sure, and then Baylor's Baylor right now. Baylor, we said, has been the best team in the state all year. I'm not overly shocked. Now I'm shocked that it was 42-7 or whatever. I thought maybe a little.
That's exactly what I just said, Joe.
That's his point.
But
it's not the results; it's the manner and how they are losing.
I guess. I mean, I thought Tupelo. The Tupelo one could have been a lot worse had it not been for the weather. And Archbishop Moeller is a different.
Yeah, that's
a different animal.
Yeah, they're a JUCO college disguised as a high school.
Pope is interesting.
That's Matt. You just took mine. That's the one that I thought was almost ready to take that next step in D2 AA, but. Just for some reason hasn't yet. Not saying they can't. That's the thing. That's the reason why. I mean, it's the inconsistency that's kind of mind-boggling.
You look great against FRA. I know it was in a loss, but then last week against Good Pasture, Cam saw it.
It's real simple. They would have one good drive, and then they would either try to do something totally different or struggle trying to do the same thing again. Like they can't do the same thing over and over if it's working. It's kind of it's very mind-boggling.
It's a whole new setup there, which isn't too shocking. I mean, new coaching staff, a lot of new faces coming in and out. And I mean, it's been a minute since the Kenny Minchie days, but even then, you go back and look at the Kenny Minchie days. Team out as a whole struggled at times. So,
and it is worth noting that team is young in a lot of areas. So. Still, the quarterback's a senior. Their best receiver is a senior. But up front, they're pretty young. They do have some size. But yeah, they're just very inconsistent.
I'm going to put Eric's comment up here because he nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's spot on. I mean, that's a program that has a proud tradition and is going through a season unlike any they've seen.
Yeah, it's
graduated a ton, but hey, we're bad people.
And they've actually began shifting towards the future. So
yep. anybody else that went good pasture we didn't mention on the surprising teams because I mean they've been a surprise in the good too.
Yeah, I mean they didn't game the last 2 seasons. Coach Turner returns to town and he's got them rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention on the surprise teams the Fighting Isaacs, Watertown. They're playing very, very well right now.
And
especially for the hand that they were dealt to lose. To lose an all-state caliber quarterback and to be able to find a replacement this quickly and be able to knock off the opponents that they've knocked off over the last 3 weeks.
You got like a couple of people on here commenting. Cane Ridge, I mean, they're a young rebuilding team. They're trying to figure it out. Hendersonville, again, they're kind of along the same lines as Mount Juliet, kind of, but they've picked up some wins. Stewart's Creek started off hot, but then their quarterback got hurt. So
quarterback out for the season and got hurt in that Siegel game, and they just not been the same team since.
Siegel's been hot. I mean,
they've got themselves right in line there to potentially be a playoff team in that region.
Yep.
They've got a monster offensive lineman there, 6'7", 315.
Yeah, I mean he's getting looked at by Power 4 schools. He's a monster.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want to pick against him just because I don't want to apologize to him.
That's a good reason. That's not a bad reason to do that. All right,
step on me.
Yeah, let's move forward to this week and the top 10 area matchups that we've got for week number 6. And we're going to start with Baylor and NBA. Both teams unbeaten entering this one in region play. Both 1-0 as well.
Yeah, and NBA kids on Instagram are commenting they want like the prediction for this. You'll get it here shortly. But Scott said last week you needed to play a perfect game to beat Knox Catholic, and you did. Well, you got to do that and then some, because David Gabriel Georges will be the best player you play all year, and he's just ask CPA how good he is.
Yeah,
kid's different.
I mean, there's no doubt that NBA's defense is stout. They very well may be one of the top units in the state, honestly, but their offense has been a question mark. It took them a half to get on the board against Knox Catholic, and it worries me that they are only able to get 73 yards rushing in that game. So, they're going to have to win the trenches. I mean, they have to win the trenches in that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No, it won't be easy. But then again,
you're exactly spot on. When you talk about size at the high school level, there's a ton of big kids in our area. Baylor has 2 kids that are NFL-sized offensive linemen right now. Yeah. They're just absolutely massive. They have the best running back in his class, David Gabriel Georges. But one positive for NBA, that win last week is a huge confidence boost for sure. And they know the formula. The formula doesn't really change. It might get a little bit tougher, rightfully so, because Baylor's just extremely talented with people from all 50 states and a different country and everything else. But the formula stays the same. Play fundamental ball on defense. You got to find a way to score, and don't give up any cheap ones. Can't give up a defensive touchdown. Can't give up a special teams touchdown. Yep. If you do that, you may be right there at the end. That's all you can hope for.
And this was an 11-point game last year too. I mean, this was not a blowout by any means. Yep. So NBA knows what it takes to play with Baylor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they did that without Hugh Price. So
right.
CPA on the road traveling to Ravenwood, and these 2 teams played a couple of years ago, but they haven't played, I think, since 22 maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
The hits just keep on coming for CPA.
There's not a week this year.
No,
it's not.
It keeps coming for CPA, but at the same time, this Ravenwood team, we saw them against Lipscomb have sort of an off week and survive. They can't have an off week here, or they will lose. It's that simple. This CPA team is still a very talented football team, but this one may not have the same muster as it could have had. But this is a very intriguing matchup. Ravenwood probably, after the first couple of weeks, have really been cruising here lately. So it'll be interesting to see if CPA's defense can find a way to slow them down.
I think that you talk about those 2 close games at the beginning of the year, probably the best thing that could have happened for the for the Raptors, because they have been absolutely pounding teams ever since. They're in a groove with their 2-man quarterback system. Their offensive line has done a great job protecting them. They've been moving the ball with impunity. Caden Pace has done a good job at running back. They are fierce. Defensively, they are fierce. They shut down a Green Hill unit offense for most of the game. And Matthew Anderson, that kid is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
CPA, they have talent, but Ravenwood is playing at a different level right now. CPA has to find a way to match it.
CPA's got its back up against the wall, though, and that's what makes them dangerous. It's just, the schedule. It's something. God, it's something.
Yeah, I need to correct myself from earlier. These 2 teams played in 2019 and 2020. They split those 2 games. They haven't played any outside of that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 5 years since they faced off.
I think the Green Hill game, something woke up in Ravenwood, because that was – and Green Hill's proven since then it's not a bad team. They've gone back to back, picking up good wins.
It was almost like a light switch flipped on for them, and they literally they went 100 miles an hour from the get go instead of easing into the game like they did the first couple of weeks where they got down and were able to come back. They just blitzed a really good Green Hill team, and they've done that to their other opponents since then as well. So CPA's got to weather the storm for sure.
Well, it's going to be it really is going to be on Preston Patterson and Crew's chance to get pressure, find a way to get pressure on Ravenwood's quarterbacks, and try to keep them in the pocket and get pressure on them, force them into mistakes. It's going to be a tall order, but CPA has got the dogs to do it.
God, people kill me. Somebody said, "Cry me a river on CPA's schedule. Welcome to the big dogs, boys." Cool. Yeah, we knew they were going to play a brutal region schedule. Cool. Yeah, we knew that. They didn't have to go out and play Tupelo and Archbishop Muller. I mean, it is what it is, but don't say "cry me a river." Shut up. Sorry, that annoyed me.
Yeah.
Don't sugarcoat it, Joe. Let it out.
That's just poor attitudes is what it is.
Yeah, we get it. They've run D2 AA for the last couple of years, and people are upset about that, and they have every right to be so. They're playing a brutal schedule. I'm not saying woe is me for them, but come on, be smarter.
And I mean most of the time that guilty lash out right there is from somebody that unfortunately has faced a beatdown from CPA a time or two.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't, and I'm going to tick off Joe's favorite people here, but they didn't sit in their own region in 3A for 10 years. Until they were somewhat shamed into moving up. They got moved up.
They were forced up.
They were forced up, but they hadn't. But it hasn't been that long. It's not like they were there for 10 years ruling the roost.
They should have moved up. Nobody. I mean, I know. I think what makes them mad is they were forced to move up.
Yeah,
they should have moved up. Nobody disagrees with that. But also, there shouldn't be 3 Division II freaking classes. It's so unbelievably watered down. It's not even funny.
There it is.
Yep.
If you got more, keep on rolling. We got time.
Yeah, I was going to say, Joe, get him a soapbox.
Hey, it wasn't broke, and they tried to fix it.
How many? Really? How many?
And they shattered it.
5-2. 5-2 was the perfect.
How many D2 AAA teams do we have in the state? 15?
No, it's not 15. I want to say with CPA, it's 13 or 14.
Yeah, you're going to make a whole class out of that?
Yeah.
Well, that's just like the first year we had 6A football. We had the Power 32, and all 32 teams were in the playoffs.
Which was one of the dumbest things they've ever done.
Ridiculous.
One of the dumbest things they've ever done. Because you had an 0-10 team in the playoffs that had no business being there.
I knew if I
That's,
pulled that
that's
red,
what I
you
like.
guys would.
That's what I like about being down here. So back in Indiana, every team in the state makes the playoffs, and I don't agree with that. I think because up there we have down here regions, we have conferences up there, and you have about 7-8 teams in a conference, and they all make the playoffs. Makes no sense to me. It should be the top 3 make the playoffs. I agree. I mean, it should be 5 and 2. It makes no sense. I mean, it's great that we have 9 games.
I love lobbing that grenade in there and watching it go off.
All right, so I did a little math, and I know this is kind of a hard exercise, but there are 52 Division II teams across the state, 52 across 3 classes, 12 in D2 AAA.
Jesus.
That's
So really, it should be
how
like
thin it is.
It should be like 28 teams in D2 Single A and like 24 in D2 AA.
Reading this makes me sick.
Well, you're not in West Virginia.
Thank God.
Have you been to West Virginia?
My grandpa's from there. I spent most of my childhood in West Virginia.
So, but I will say,
you understand.
Eric said that, but that actually adds on to Oakland's win over Huntington, West Virginia, which is a 4A team, which is the largest classification in West Virginia, evidently. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
In Indiana, you got 6 classes. The private and public are together. I know that's a whole big thing down here. It is what it is. But up there, it's not a private dominance. Public schools win a lot of the time. It is. I don't know. It's just sorry.
They had another A on to my high school. They're going to have to start, putting B's on the end of them.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull it back in before it gets too far off the rails. Davidson Academy also faced Grace Christian, who we just talked about a few minutes ago, as one of the surprises of the first half. This is where Grace Christian starts to really prove itself.
This is their first big test. It's simple as that. This is a really good Davidson Academy team.
really good quarterback in Ridge Holman. Grace Christian, maybe the story that gets overlooked with them being 5-0. They haven't given up more than 7 points in a game this year.
Yeah,
they've got 2 shutouts and they gave up 7 points 3 times. That Davidson offense versus this Grace defense will tell us everything we need to know about this Grace Christian team. If they find a way to get this done, we probably will be at Grace Christian here in the next couple of weeks.
We're going to cover a Grace Christian game anyway, I think.
Yeah. This game could be an aeronautical.
You got to give them something to play for, Joe.
Yeah. Both teams love to throw the ball. Lions have played extremely well, 33-plus points a game, as Cam said. They've only allowed, I think they pitched 2 shutouts, Cam, and they only allowed, you said, 7 points the last 3, 4.22 average. Knox Lambert's having a tremendous year, already 1,100 yards, nearly 1,100 yards passing. Got a good receiver in Grayson DeGraff. So, this
Davidson
GCA team.
3-2. Sorry.
Yeah. This Davidson Academy team, this is going to be, I think, a very, very good game. You brought up Ridge Holman, Joe. He's really getting comfortable in Jonathan Quinn's system there. And
go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Josh Bolden. He's electric with the ball in his hands. I mean, really, I think this is a close game. I really do.
I know. Davidson Academy's only 2 losses are Nashville Christian and Franklin and FRA. So they're only 2. I mean, they're 3-2 on the year. That win over Good Pasture is going to look really, really good. I think they're, a solid. If they win this game, they're in the driver's seat to be the number 3, I think, in this region, which we've been saying for a couple of years. When is Davidson Academy going to take that next step? They've always seemingly kind of been sitting there waiting. Just unfortunately for them, FRA and BJ are a step above everybody else this year.
But they are the smallest school by numbers in Division II AA.
Yeah.
Also, this is the first meeting between Davidson Academy and Grace Christian in regular season play too, which is kind of interesting.
That is wild.
Yeah. That is wild.
Ensworth heads to unbeaten Brentwood Academy, looking to get the bugaboo off their back. They've lost 8 straight to the Eagles.
This is an Innsworth team that's got they got a statement win over Macaulay, where Brentwood Academy is looking for a statement team. And we kind of were texting about this, and I said, BA's been good under Coach Wade, but they don't have that statement win. This is a really good opportunity, and you got Cruz Jenkins going against that Innsworth secondary. It's going to be a great game, and Scott's going to get. I hope you have your running shoes. I hope you have fun.
I bought brand new. I got brand new Skechers.
Hey, there is a track there too, so use it if you need to.
Honestly, I don't know if it's going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, Kashawn Bowman going against Justin Hawkins, I know we talk about great matchups. There may not be a better matchup player for player this week than that one.
Yeah, I think the key matchup in this game is going to be the running back for Brentwood Academy and Larry Sanders rushing the ball, and Blake Surratt, the linebacker that stepped up for Innsworth. Will Innsworth be able to slow down the run? Yes, Kashawn Bowman is spectacular. Cruz Jenkins is having a good year. But Brentwood Academy starts with the run. If they're able to run the football, that offense has a whole different dynamic to it. So can Innsworth stop the run and force Brentwood Academy to be one-dimensional? That's the biggest storyline in this game, in my opinion.
I just got to address this real quick. If we played high school teams, Kentucky would have been on the schedule.
Why am I catching strays?
Sorry, Scott. Scott, you got like 4 to root for. I can't. You can't.
It's kind of hard for you to not catch strays when you were all over the place.
Sorry, middle
I am
school
not
team.
all over the place.
Western Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky.
I went to Western Kentucky. I went to Louisville. I mean, it's not my fault that I couldn't graduate in 10 years. No, Cam, I think you're spot on. I think you have nailed it. This game will be won by whoever controls the offensive line. Or I'm sorry, if whoever controls the offensive line when Brentwood Academy has the ball. Because if Brentwood Academy is able to run the ball, keep Innsworth's offense off the field, it's going to be a long night for the Tigers. If Innsworth's defensive line wins, it's dangerous to throw on Innsworth. It is. I mean, between Blake Surratt, Bishop Starling, Justin Hopkins, I mean, that's a minefield you're throwing through. I think, but you got an X factor in this game. Tommy Boschiero, the kicker, for Brentwood Academy. He can score. He can score from long range, and I think that's a weapon that you can't be overlooked in a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, you get it to the 40 in your field goal range. It's that simple.
This isn't in our top 10 games, but I think we all agree on this one. Yeah. Yeah,
Antioch is just way too dynamic on offense, in my opinion. I think Antioch wins by multiple scores.
Yeah.
Cane Ridge is improving, but this is not a team that you get better against. This is a team that you've got to hang on. I mean, we saw an offensive juggernaut last week in Centennial that did all they could do to keep pace. Cane Ridge not quite there yet.
Yeah, and one thing I went back and watched. Just wanted to add this real quick. I went back and watched that Innsworth Macaulay game. Guys, Baylor. We talked about Baylor. Baylor may be the clear one right now in D2 AAA, but it's wide open. Mm-hmm. I really do think that.
Going back to this, excuse me, sorry, Joe. Ainsworth's lost 8 in a row in this series. They did not play in the last 2 years. 2022 is their last meeting. That was the 10-7 thriller at Ainsworth, where George McIntyre had a late touchdown pass to win it for Brentwood Academy.
Freaking absurd.
Ainsworth's last win came in 2014. Their last win at Brentwood Academy, 2011.
Wow.
So
this is it's a good test for Cruz Jenkins. I mean, he's been touted as one of the best quarterbacks. I mean, coming in, taking George's spot. I mean, you would think when you lose a quarterback like George, you're like, man, how do you replace a guy like that? They got the guy in Cruz, only a junior. This is his first real test, and he's been efficient this year. We'll see just how good he is, I think, on Friday night.
Yep. Friendship Christian hits the road to go to Ezel Harding.
Yeah, and this was another tough one to pick for sure. This is a game that we initially overlooked and then added it into the top 10, and rightfully so. What Petey Smith has been able to do the last couple of weeks has really brought that Ezel Harding team up, and Friendship 4-1. But I think Coach McNeil and the Commanders would tell you they're not happy with the way they've been performing the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely want to try to get the ship righted here in I think this is a region game, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So they definitely want to get the ship righted in a big region game.
This is a game that Friendship won 35-12 last year, but Ezel didn't have Petey Smith. He got hurt start the year. If you ask Coach Stewart, he thinks that's a team that can make a deep run, that could have made a deep run last year had he been involved with all the talent they had. I don't disagree with him after watching him the other night. This is an Ezel team, back-to-back big wins. Their only losses. They got a weird one to Franklin Christian. They did lose to MTCS to start the year, but they're kind of finding their groove. And Cam, you kind of mentioned it there. Friendship Christian defensively not playing all that well this year. So this is an interesting game. It really is a toss-up. I know Friendship Christian has had their number, but the way Ezel, the momentum that they have, and we're not really talking about it, their defense, they got a lot of guys that just fly to the ball. Just a lot of pure athletes on that defense. PD leading the charge. It's going to be a really good one.
Yeah, Joe, you brought up their defense. Amir King, 4 sacks on the year. Smith's do it all off the edge. Of course, Sam Good and DJ Sane in that defensive backfield for Ezel. But what worries me is the offensive line for Friendship. You're talking about guys that go 6'5", 332, 6'2", 230. They're earth movers there. And, you get another running back and another Walcott back there running the ball. I think the Commanders have to keep this ball on the ground.
Well, let's not forget, Walcott has played really, really well, but that is because Jaden McGowan, if I'm not mistaken, has been hurt.
Yep.
So if Jaden McGowan gets back and they have McGowan and Walcott in the backfield, totally different dynamic for that offense.
Well, and not to mention, you have Blake Waldorf back there who can run and pass. He's rushed for 274 TDs. So I see this as a Friendship wants to keep the ball on the ground, keep it away from Juju Murdoch and Petey Smith and those guys and Sam Good. And I think it's just a really interesting matchup. It's kind of a contrast in styles, and it's going to be really interesting to see, a movable object, unstoppable force, which wins.
Ezel is trying to shake a 10-game losing streak to Friendship Christian in the series. They last won in 2005 against the Commanders. So something to look forward to for them if they can get that one pulled off. Yeah. Westmoreland travels to White Creek for the unbeaten Cobras.
Yeah, definitely not a week that Westmoreland wants one of their top tacklers on defense and top rushing leaders out. So this will be a good test for this Whites Creek team, though. They've played a few teams that like this smash mouth type of old school, slow it down, run the ball, keep the ball away from you type teams. They've faced a couple to this point, and they've passed with flying colors. So it will be interesting to see if the Whites Creek team, the big story for them in the preseason, talking with Coach Darnell, consistency. That's what he wanted, was consistency. And so far they've been very consistent. If that continues, I think, the ceiling is the limit for this Whites Creek team.
Whites Creek finally faced some adversity last week, and if that was the team that I saw last year against White House, they would have folded. They crumbled, or they cruised through the first 4 weeks, got a test against Liberty Creek, got tested late. They ended up winning. Kind of shows the growth of this program, whereas Westmoreland, they've bounced back from, back-to-back opening season losses with 3 straight wins, including a big overtime win last week against White House. I kind of think Whites Creek they're kind of on a different level at the moment. And the way Deion Barnes is operating that offense, it's going to take something special to slow them down.
Cam, is it Lilly that went down, or was it Gann or Cook? Do you know?
I want to say it was Freeman.
Freeman. Okay. Well, they've got some backs that can step up. And this offensive line for Westmoreland is not is still pretty good. It's the one thing I think that they were able to retain from last year. They're in rebuilding, new coaches, new faces, same old grit for Westmoreland. But Cobra Kai has all the speed and quickness of a Cobra, and I just don't think Westmoreland is Ricky Tikki Tavi. I just don't think they had mongoose skills. I saw Deion Barnes in person. He's a difference maker, and De'Aris Holland. He can fly. It's going to be one of those games that I think that Westmoreland can stay with them, but if Whites Creek gets out in front, it's going to be very, very difficult for them. They have to stay out in front, and they have to get out in front, and they have to stay there.
Yeah, Aaron Freeman is the Eagle that's down.
Okay.
You mentioned De'Aris Holland. That's a guy, if you want to know what type of athlete that is, that's a sophomore that's already picking up P4 offers, Power 4 offers. Extremely dynamic with the ball in his hand.
Yep.
And not a lot of history between these two teams. They've only had 4 meetings. Westmoreland has won all 4, but none since 2022. Oakland and Blackman get it onto the Borough. Both of them unbeaten.
Just keep it clean. Don't be stupid. Don't do what you did last year. Had a great game that was marred by just late or end of game shenanigans. This is for the region title, is it not?
Pretty much.
Yeah, and if you're in Oakland's case, if you don't win this one, that Riverdale game is massive at the end of the year. You win this one, barring something crazy happens, this would almost lock up at least a share of that title for Oakland. So, this is going to be a very, very intriguing matchup with James Stewart down low. The secondary for Blackman should be able to eliminate Joel White. So Craig Tutt's got to show up in this game. It's that simple. If Craig Tutt shows up and he's Craig Tutt, Blackman's going to have their hands full all night.
I don't know. Cam, you're spot on with the defense, and Kerry Dixon, Jaden Lark in the defensive backfield, Javion Elliott doing well. This is a team that I think can give Oakland a really good test. But this Oakland they're the penultimate team. They have standout players. They don't put up gaudy stats. Everything is just Creasy does is just make sure everybody is prepared to be the next man up. I've never known a coach that's been able to get everybody touches as much as he has, and keep the team on level. They have tremendous weapons, but defensively they are next level. They've only allowed 20 points in 5 games, 3 shutouts. Creates havoc in opposing backfields. Travion Jackson's a real deal. I mean, I just think that Oakland, even if Tutt doesn't do Tutt things, they'll find somebody else that can carry the rock. That is just the magic that is Coach Creasy.
Yeah, they're spot on. And that's why they've run 6A since its inception.
Yeah, which we've all pretty much us as a whole team has said that this may be his deepest team. He's got more dudes than he's probably ever had. And that's saying something when you look at some of those rosters that he had, like the roster that had Jordan James, which is now on the NFL roster, that has Isaiah Horton, which is going to be drafted next April. This team's just extremely talented.
Anyone want to take a guess as to how many in a row Oakland's won in this series?
Creasy's been there
since 8.
Creasy's been there since 15, so I'm going to say 12.
Joe?
I don't think Blackman's beat him since like 07.
The answer is 14, and that last Blackman win came in the regular season opener in 2014.
The year before Creasy got there.
It was. Yep. They played in the opener, and they also played again in the quarterfinals when Oakland started that streak that they're currently on, which is now at 14 straight games.
Yep.
Page and Centennial. Page has found a stride so far this year. Centennial's offense, though, they've gotten the job mostly done. They just can't stop anybody at the moment.
Yeah.
Not a good week to have that issue when Page is rolling like they are.
Good gosh.
James Pierre and Isaac Odie, I just think they're gonna have a bit of a field day in this. And Centennial, they're another one of those teams where they're better than their record shows. They just can't catch a break with their schedule either, apparently. Also,
and
to this question real quick. We pick all of our games, all of our area games. Macon County is in the sheet that are in the story that comes out tomorrow. Just right now, they are not in a top 10 matchup. Not sure when that'll be, but just not at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, what Mitchell Grangine has been able to do this year at Centennial is remarkable in his first year with the Cougars. Unfortunately for them, they've faced some really, really good offenses to this point. And unfortunately, they're facing another really good offense on Friday night. This Page team is totally different. I think me and Joe, we've actually talked about it a little bit. It reminds me, at least, of the first Page team that made it to the state championship game. They're a team that can spread you out and can do multiple things on offense, can score 40 points a game. Defensively, they've gotten better. They started off a little rocky, especially compared to Page standards. But they've got some guys back. Knight Wilson on the back end leading that secondary. Page is starting to gain that momentum and starting to roll people. So it'll be interesting to see if Centennial can rebound off of a tough loss last week where you gave everything you had to get back in that game and get a lead and then have Antioch score a couple times in the fourth quarter to knock you off. It's a tough loss for sure.
Yeah. Page has given up more points. They gave up more points in the first two games than they did they did all of last year. But since then, they've kind of righted the ship, as it were, shutting out Laverne, only giving up 14. It may be, in fact, because their newest defensive weapon, they've got a new defensive back, evidently, Jordan Curl, 6'4", 300 pounds, who's picked off passes in the last two games. Defensive and offensive line has been he is absolute freaking nature, and I think he used to be a running back when he was younger. So he's got speed too. That defensive offensive line for Page is just next level. But Knight Wilson's return to the defensive backfield that helps solidify that defense. Cohen Grissom, Liam Perry playing well. And they just continue to pile up points. Like you said, Joe, James Pierre, Isaac Odie getting it done on the ground behind Jacob Rathbone and Curl. This time last year, we were wondering if anybody could stop Page's defense. Right now, we're wondering who stops Page's offense. It's just going to be really difficult for Centennial. They have problems with consistent stop, giving up big plays. They're averaging like 38 points per game given up. They gave up 54 to Antioch last week, and they're only averaging 40 points per game on offense. So it's almost 50-50 there. They have got to lower that or make that ratio just a little bit greater.
I'd put Centennial's offense up against a lot of teams.
Oh yeah,
they just got to find a way to limit the damage to the other side.
Also, if you don't think Mitchell Grangine is going to be motivated for this game,
100%.
Oh, yeah, but I think both sides will be.
Well, and these two teams have also played. And these two teams have played in the playoffs each of the last 2 years as well.
Mm-hmm.
Page knocked Centennial out in 23 and 24.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So the motivation is definitely there for Centennial on multiple fronts.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can they just get it done defensively? That's the number one question. Centennials won, or Pages won the last 6 in the series. They didn't play from 2008 to 2019, so it's been a while since Centennial won over Page. 2007 was the last time that happened. Oh, Pearl Cone goes to Springfield, and for Pearl Cone, it just does not get any easier. But Springfield had to do everything and then some to escape East Nashville.
Yeah, I hate that I was not at that game. God, that sucked. For that was, to me, that was a statement win for Springfield, for the simple fact they got up early, then they fell down. I mean, East Nashville scored like 21 straight or something. And then they just found a way to win. And, you know, in years past, Springfield maybe didn't have the athletes to compete with a team like an East Nashville where they're just speed everywhere. They got that now. And then you got Kason Woodson, who's playing great ball right now. I know Jaden Hurst is back last week, and he runs for nearly 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. So this is a great rivalry game. Nobody's really going to talk about that just because you don't think Pearl Cone Springfield rivalry. It's a good rivalry game. These teams know each other very well, even though they haven't played in a while. Springfield's only beat them once. That was back in 2004. Sorry to steal your spotlight there, Chris. But they haven't played since 2016. This is kind of like what Bryant said right there. This is the de facto Region 6 4A championship game in a lot of ways. Don't tell the coaches that. You know, they still got to win a lot of games, but it's going to be a great atmosphere. And for Pearl Cone, this is your statement game. You need your game last week, your first win of the season got shut down because of weather. You want to make a statement. There's no better statement than to go to Springfield and beat an unbeaten team. East Nashville didn't do it last week. You guys get the chance to do it this week.
Yeah, and the coaches may not come straight out and say it, but if you look at some of the teams that Pearl Cone scheduled, it's easy to see there's some similarities with Springfield. So Pearl Cone scheduled some of those teams maybe to get ready for Springfield, and rightfully so on the Springfield side. You know, they schedule an East Nashville team, very similar type of athletes, very similar type of offense to a Pearl Cone team. So both teams are super prepared for each other. Both coaches know what's at stake here. One name that I will mention, I went back and watched that Springfield East Nashville game. A young man that was all over the field on the defense side of the ball for Springfield, Cameron Wilson, at the linebacker position, is going to be a huge impact on this game, trying to stop Landon Left and Marion Starnes. If Springfield's able to slow down that rushing attack, you know, LJ Funk has shown progressions, but if you're Springfield, I think you would prefer Pearl Cone trying to beat you passing than rushing.
Well, Springfield, go ahead.
Kind of an important point that Bryant made here. Because of the new playoff format, second place is not going to be a great deal to lose through this game.
No, it's a
because
great
of the way they're
point.
spread out now.
I'm just thinking of potential Into the Hive episode, having to go to Memphis. Oh God.
You ever been to Melrose, Joe?
That's a long drive.
I'll go with you.
It would count. I've been to Brownsville. Been to Haywood quite a bit. So,
well, Springfield has faced and defeated a really good grinding team in Clarksville. They've defeated a good hybrid offense in Station Camp, and now a speed team in East Nashville. They have been tested multiple ways and have had to find ways to win in each one of those matchups. They weren't easy wins, but they found ways to win. This game is going to be won at the line of scrimmage. I know we say that a lot, or I've said it a lot tonight. It really is true in this one because Pearl, their offensive line has to be there. Their offensive line has to open up holes, or the defensive line of Springfield will eat them alive. Springfield's got good speed on the edges, so they're going to have to win and create those creases for Starnes and Left to break through. If they can get to the second level where the linebackers are, they can break them. They could break them, but the line really has to dominate and dominate consistently. I think the biggest matchup is going to be on the outside for Case and Woodson. I think Jermaine Cobbins has to have a good game, and don't be surprised if the tight end number 7, Bryce Baldwin, don't be surprised if he's not very much a big part of the game plan in this, because when they get the running game going and go that play action pass, he catches the tough ones over the middle.
Great quarterback matchup. LJ Funk against Case and Woodson. I mean, it's going to be a fun game. Excited to get back out there.
Yep.
Yes, Joe mentioned earlier, 2004 was the last Springfield win of the series, the only Springfield win of the series. Pearl Cone owns that edge 12-1, 13 contests that they played against each other. And that brings us to our spotlight game of the week, is that Division II AA clash between BGA and FRA.
And going into the year, we thought this could be a game of the year contender, and it still could. However, BGA is just on a different level. They're right up there, not with just the best teams in our area, but the best teams in the state. And FRA is unbeaten, but they've had some close calls. BGA has run through everybody they've played. So I watched this game last year at BGA. I watched FRA get close, or BGA get close, and then FRA broke a screenplay or something that kind of flipped the game around. They ended up rolling. BGA gets revenge in the postseason. But this team there's something different. Coach Bentley's got this group rolling right now. It's hard to pick against them.
This is a team that you can't believe unless you go out and watch them. And I would suggest that if you're going to catch a game, this is the one to do it, because you're going to be at one of the best stadiums in the mid-state in FRA, climbing the hill, and then BGA is just right now they are offensively just amazing. Caden Marable is passing at an 82% clip right now. He's got a completion rate 82%. He's passed for over 1,000 yards, almost 1,100 in only 4 games. 16 TDs, 0 picks. Marable's playing at a Mr. Football clip, if not more. You stack another 173 yards rushing and 6 touchdowns on the ground. He spreads the ball around. He doesn't focus on one particular receiver. Maddox Porter seems to be his favorite target, but Max Curry isn't far off. And Cam, I know you're going to talk about the defense for BGA, because I know one of your favorite guys is on that side, and I'll let you talk about their defense. But so far they've amassed 13 sacks and 6 picks. But to what Joe said, FRA, they just seem to be a little inconsistent. You can't have that against a team that is running on all cylinders like the Wildcats are right now.
Yeah, with what FRA does, BGA's defense is kind of set up to defend that to a certain extent, mainly in part thanks to one of the best offensive linemen in our area, Nate Fleming. The kid is a monster. He has a mean streak, but he's also he's an old school type player. He will knock you down and pick you up and tell you he'll see you again in a minute. And that's just what type of kid he is. But this BGA offense, we've talked a lot about him. I'm the only one that's seen him this year, I believe, to this point in a scrimmage. There's only one way that I think that teams have not been able to do yet. So if FRA can find a way to do it, how is BGA going to react? You have to get pressure. You have to. And it's extremely hard to do, especially against that offense, because they throw a lot of bubble screens. They throw a lot of quick game. But if you let Caden Marable sit back in that pocket, it's a wrap. He's going to pick you apart. He's that good. He's going to Columbia, yes, but Joe would agree he's a lot better than Columbia. The kid is special. Watching him in that scrimmage against Upperman, which Upperman is a statewide poll top 10 4A team, they scored 3 times in 8 plays. This is a special offense for sure.
Aiden Woodruff against Keelan Neal is going to be a fun matchup if those guys line up against each other. Aiden Woodruff's just picking up Power 4 offers left and right. I believe he just got like Texas A&M yesterday. On the FRA side, I mean, they have arguably the best junior in the state outside of Jermaine Cobbins in Jermaine's a sophomore. Sorry, forgot all about that. Kid plays like a senior. But Amari Sanders, I mean, he's a legit top 150 guy in his class. Mike Hassel, he's one of the best pure athletes we have. He plays both sides of the ball. Glad to see him back healthy. It's just going to be – they need to play a perfect game. They need to make this game ugly. They need to make this a grinding game because if you let BGA get up early, you're not going to catch them. Nobody can catch this offense.
Yeah, kind of like that semifinal game last year. Keep it in the 20s, maybe. I mean, that's kind of what FRA really needs to do. They won the regular season meeting last year 39-14, lost the semifinal 28-21.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for our top 10 of the week. Let's just go ahead and take a quick break while we talk about our sponsor at AccuWorks. Water damage. It can be as small as a leaking faucet or as catastrophic as a flood. Regardless of the source, water damage wreaks havoc on your home or business's walls, floors, and furniture, and can lead to mold and other health risks. AccuWorks can start water damage restoration services immediately, removing all potential risks and restoring the affected areas. The experts at AccuWorks will determine the extent of the water damage in your property. They can handle any size of water breach, from a small plumbing malfunction to a major sewage backup or storm flooding. AccuWorks conducts Nashville water removal from your home using the most advanced equipment and techniques in the industry. And once your property is dry again, our restoration and remediation experts can also repair any lasting damage. There's no need to call another contractor for water damage restoration. AccuWorks handles everything from beginning to end. If you're in Nashville, Clarksville, Cookeville, or areas in between, it's time to call the water damage experts at AccuWorks. Call us now at 615-292-2009 or toll free at 888-779-2228 or visit the website at AccuWorks.com. AccuWorks Restoration, a proud sponsor of Tennessee high school athletics. Certainly want to thank AccuWorks for sponsoring 615 Preps Live for the remainder of the season. Definitely a partnership we hope to continue into the future as well. And now what you've all been waiting for. With the exception of me. Rob.
Yeah.
What an awful champ. What a friggin' just awful champ. Can't even.
Oh my gosh.
Week. What a trash week. What a trash week I had last week. But you know what? Whatever. It's fine.
Another man's trash is another man's treasure.
There says the trash man himself.
Yeah.
All right.
Because he's the trash man. Can't sing anymore. Or we'll have to pay somebody.
Be worse. We could be Scott.
That's fair. That's very fair. All right. On with the picks. Let's go
Good thing
with Baylor
on the air.
Baylor and NBA is our first ones. We've got Baylor all across the board.
Yeah, let's give NBA. Yeah, I apologize to you. I'm not sorry for this pick.
Well, unfortunately, when you win a game like they won last week, they just got this game circled from Baylor. So that's kind of what you get when you win one that a lot of people think you probably shouldn't have. But kudos to that team and what they've been able to do. They know the formula. Can they get it done?
Win this one, I'll gladly apologize.
Yeah, I ain't apologizing again. Did it this week. I'm picking Baylor in every game they play this year against one of our teams, against any team in the state. This team's loaded. They're mad about how last year ended. To me, they are a top 25 nationally ranked team. They're just different. David Gabriel Georges is, like Cam said, he's one of the best running backs in his class, and he's playing like it.
Yeah, Bridge Cherry, Louisville commitment.
Yeah,
he's something special too. So.
Would love to see it happen, just not sure that it will.
But hey, use it as motivation.
Yeah, please do. Please do. And we'll apologize if we're wrong.
We'll do a group apology.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll be on that train for that. Yeah. We'll do that. Yeah, you can write that down in pencil if you want. CP8 Ravenwood, Tyson's on brand. He's not going to do what he should do. He's going with CPA. So, hey, CPA, you got a backer.
Yeah, no, I think going into the year, I thought maybe this would be a really good game, and I still think it could be. But after what I saw Ravenwood do to Green Hill, and then CPA just kind of being what they've had to deal with this year, it's hard to pick against the Raptors in this one, especially at home in front of that student section, best student section around.
Yeah, just too many questions on the defense side of the ball for CPA, in my opinion, against a really talented offense in Ravenwood.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a bull with momentum running at you. It's kind of hard to pick against the bull.
I mean, it's a bull. It's kind of a Lamborghini as well at times too. So that's the way this Ravenwood offense has been operating the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Davidson Academy and Grace Christian. Scott, you and Tyson are going with the homestanding Lions, while the rest of us are with the Bears.
I think that this is I think it's a close game. I like both of these teams, but I like the home dog in this one. I think this is just GCA's year to shine. Knox Lambert has really impressed me, but I think defensively Noah Anliker is going to be the big difference in this one. I think defensively they'll do well.
Well, we'll pick up a game on Scott here, Cam. I just think DA is a little more battle tested, having played the likes of Nashville Christian and FRA. GCA is a great story, and if I get this one wrong, I'll apologize to the Lions, but I don't think I'm going to get this one wrong, guys.
Yeah, we talked about GCA's defense, only giving up 7 points, no more than 7 points in a game this season. They haven't faced an offense like Davidson Academy. And what Ridge Holman has been able to do, I just think that even if GCA has a good performance, I think that Davidson Academy will be able to score more than 7 and find a way to get a win.
Mm-hmm. Answorth at BA, we have a little bit more split on it. Cam, you've got Brentwood Academy. You and Joe both have Brentwood Academy. Scott, actually, you do too. So,
well, Cam, I suddenly don't feel great about my pick. I'm just teasing, Scott. Like I said, I just think this is a chance for a statement win for BA. They haven't really gotten that under Coach Wade yet. I mean, they've played really good ball, but when are we going to get that this year? I know they haven't played the toughest schedule compared to Ainsworth, who's lost to Nashville Christian on a 2-point conversion and then beat nationally or almost nationally ranked McCallie. I just think I really like Larry Sanders in this game. I like Cruz Jenkins and Kashawn Bowman. Until you stop him, it's hard for me to pick against the Eagles.
Yeah, just too many things for me going in favor of Brentwood Academy. And that being, Larry Sanders rushing the ball. I thought McCallie had a decent game against Ainsworth on the ground. But McCallie also had several shots in that game that just missed. If Cruz Jenkins is able to capitalize on those, especially with a guy like Kashawn Bowman, McCallie don't have a Kashawn Bowman. It's just that simple. They do have a Trudeau, I think is his name, that's going to Vanderbilt, but Kashawn Bowman's a different level. He's probably going to end up a 5-star if he's not a 5-star yet. And then Scott mentioned it earlier, Tommy Beccaro, probably the best kicker in our area. He's committed to Rice. Tennessee ought to be trying to get him, but hey, that's whatever.
He would have made that field goal against Georgia.
For sure. But, that alone, along with Kashawn Bowman being the best athlete on the field, a really, really good offensive line for BA and special teams. Just too much for me to go against BA.
Ainsworth. Go ahead, Chris.
I'm going with Ainsworth just because I believe this team has a sizable chip on his shoulder. That loss to Nashville Christian, they have some gripes about how that went down, and they have certainly played like they were the better team in that game after that. It's the way Ainsworth has rebounded and responded from that loss has been incredibly impressive to me. And yeah, BA is definitely in position to get a signature win, but I'm just not sure this is the team it happens against.
This was a tough one for me to pick. I tell you, I watched the game against McCallie. I watched a little bit more of Ainsworth. the play calling has been just spectacular. But what wins it for me is Paul Wade and his abilities to coach in the trenches, those offensive linemen. I think this is one there, and it's just really hard to pick against BA when the game is that important to be won by offensive and defensive linemen.
Friendship Christian and Ezel Harding, another 5-3 split in favor of Friendship Christian.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This hurts me. It hurt me to pick this one. I think that the offensive line again is going to be just really tough against the Ezel Harding. I think that they open up some space for Ryder Walcott and or Jaden McGowan. I just think they just have too many weapons.
I thought that last week against Joe Burns too, and I thought Ezel handled it pretty well. Petey Smith really impressed me. I like the athletes that Ezel has, and unlike Scott, who's now back-to-back weeks apologized to a team and then immediately picked against them right away. I think Ezel's in a great spot right here. I could see this going either way, but Friendship's defense worries me. They're susceptible to the big plays. They were in a shootout with a Fayetteville team that's not playing all that well this year. I just think they're riding a little bit of momentum. Ezel is, and I like what Petey Smith's done. And unlike Scott, Coach Stewart, I'm picking you guys this week.
Yeah, for sure, Friendship's defense has not performed the way that we expected, but their offense has. I think their offense is a bona fide juggernaut. To have your starting running back go down and you didn't miss a beat, you threw in a freshman. Yes, his last name's Walcott, and he's done nothing but rush for 150-ish yards per game. The key factor here for me, not too sure if this game is too big for Ezel. We talk about Coach Stewart building that program. This is a huge – last week was a good win for Ezel. This week it would be a huge win for Ezel when it comes to region standings and maybe potentially hosting a playoff game and that sort of thing. So this game is huge for this Ezel program. Friendship's been there. Coach McNeil over 300-plus wins in his career. And I do think that Friendship has an advantage up front. So I tend to go with the Commanders.
Kind of a 50-50 game for me. A lot of what Cam just said about Friendship Christian applies in my thoughts as well. But home field advantage, I'm going to give it to Ezel Harding in this one, and just the way that they're playing right now. Momentum's big. They've got it, and I think they keep it rolling this week. Westmoreland,
they don't want me picking for him anyway.
There you go. Westmoreland and Whites Creek, and KJ is on the Westmoreland train while the rest of us have the Cobras.
KJ just had to be different.
Yeah, it's just a sneaky matchup for Whites Creek, honestly. A team that is going to try to drag you into a very quick game in Westmoreland. They're going to try to run the clock. They're going to try to keep those athletes off the field. And defensively, they're just going to try to smother you. That's what Coach Harris's defense does at Westmoreland, and he's really good at it. But this Whites Creek team has shown throughout the first 5 weeks they're a little bit different than in years past. They're a lot more fundamentally sound. They're a lot more composed. They're a lot more consistent. So I like this Whites Creek team to have enough big plays to beat a Westmoreland team.
I just think I like Deion Barnes. I like Holland. I'm all about Cobra Kai, as we all know, and I think they take a lot of momentum from this one into a big game next week against White House Heritage.
Yeah, everything that you guys said, and Darius Holland on top.
Westmoreland wants to make it a quick game, but Whites Creek can do it in a different way, and they can strike quickly and often, and that's where I've got them the advantage of this one. They don't have to be on the field a lot to put up a lot of points.
Right.
Oakland at Blackman. We were all taking the Patriots. Some of us in a little bit different manner than others.
Tell them, Cam.
It's, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And Blackman has not defeated Oakland for as long as Kevin Creasy has been the head coach. So it's an uphill battle for Blackman here. But I do think Blackman is the best suited to go up against that Oakland team. That defensive front is a game changer, man. The problem with that, though, Oakland doesn't just have one horse. They do have one really, really good horse in Craig Tutt, but they got multiple dudes. Look for Justice Haggard to play a role in this one as more of a physical running back, a bigger running back, a harder to tackle running back. And then if they have to, the freshman, Cam Morton, being able to stretch the field occasionally just to keep that defense honest. I just think this Oakland team is special.
Yeah, I can't pick against Oakland until they give me a reason not to, and they have not done that.
Yeah, I mean, can Blackman win? Yeah, and they're not far from it. But until Oakland, I mean, Oakland's going to have to stumble. I'm afraid in this one, and Blackman's going to have to take advantage of it for the Blaze to win this game.
Not sure that there's going to be that many points because these defenses can get it done for both teams. I don't know if we see a repeat of last year. I kind of hope we don't as far as the extracurriculars are concerned. But if the quality of play returns, then it may be tough sledding for both offenses in this one. But I do like.
I gotta ask, who are we talking about in this one? Anybody?
I think he's technically Macon County, White County.
Yes, Macon County, White County. White County is not from our area.
Well, I mean that's not really consideration. I just don't think that's gonna be that much of a game.
Nope.
Because
could be wrong, but
could be wrong. But I mean,
Look, so that will be the best. That will be the best team. We'll talk about it for a brief second since he's pushing an issue here. That will be the best team Macon County's played to this point. Macon County still wins by multiple scores.
And I always have to ask the question: if you're going to throw one out there, you got to take somebody off. So who is it?
Yeah,
I'm holding your feet to the fire.
Yeah, just out of the games we've mentioned, I mean, maybe Page Centennial, but
that's a playoff rematch too.
Westmoreland White. I mean, a lot of the games we picked.
It's not a slide. It's just there's a lot of good games this week. This is the week we talked about that was loaded. So
not top 10. It's not top 15. It's top 10.
We're going to pick them tomorrow. So a little patience. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all we're asking. Speaking of Page Centennial, there we go. We've got Page and across the board.
Yeah, the offense for Page has been too good, and the defense for Centennial has been not good enough. I think the story continues.
Yeah, I think Centennial has the ability to outscore Page, but that defense has not stepped up quite yet. They showed flashes of it last week against Antioch. If they can get consistent stops, then they can put points up and defeat Page. But so far, that defense is still trying to find its ground.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I'm behind Cam this year is because I picked against Page, and he became mayor of Rutterville when I picked against him when they played Green Hill. So learned my lesson, not picking against the Patriots again until they give me a reason not to.
Yeah, that's definitely Page until further notice.
He said the same thing last year.
This is true. Yeah, I'm on Page as well until further notice. I mean, just the way they played so far, and I saw Centennial last week. That offense has been humming along, but at some point, this is the best defense they will have faced, and this is the real test for them. Let's see where they are.
Indy versus Franklin. Somebody did comment on that. Indy versus Franklin was a top 10 game. We realized we didn't have Ezel Friendship on here. That's more than likely more important for region standings, considering those teams could compete at the top. We went with that one, but we did all pick Indy Franklin. Once again, we talked about our top 10 games. The whole slate of our picks will be out tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm. Pearl Cone at Springfield. Isaac, KJ, and Connor are taking the Firebirds.
It's not a bad pick. I mean,
it's
not.
I can't say it was a hard game to pick because I'll get beat up if I go to Springfield and say that. But no, it was a hard game to pick. I really like the Springfield team. I think they've answered any questions I had about them going into the year. But again, they, at Procone, we don't know what Procone team we're going to get, and they could have their best showing, and I wouldn't be shocked. So, should be a good one.
Yeah. Well, I talked about both teams kind of scheduled to prepare for this one. And I think Springfield has faced more dynamic approaches than Procone to this point, and I think it's fresher for Springfield, having played East Nashville just last week. The story for Springfield, in my opinion, for the season, Kason Woodson, his ability the last 2 to 3 weeks to take over a game, whether with his legs or throwing the football, throw in 2 really good running backs in Jaden Hurst and Lamaris Dallin. This Springfield team is for real, and they're a little bit more dynamic, in my opinion, than Procone.
I think Springfield is just a little better, as Cam said, all the way around. I think their defensive line, I think, is a little stronger than what I've seen at a Procone's offensive line. That to me is where it seems to be my theme this week. But it really does make a difference. And again, I think that the speed, Springfield has speed. It's not something that they've often had, but they've had so many breakaway plays this year. If there's a team that can keep up on big plays with Procone, it's the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for the Procone outburst game to happen. I think it's coming. I just don't know if it's going to be this week. And also, too, something to think about. Procone's not had a true home game yet. They had the BGA game moved to Procone after the weather delays, but they haven't had a true home game yet. They're going to have that finally next week. This is the last of 6 road games to start the year for that. That's tough. That's tough. And the way they are handling it, I know they're going to be in good shape by the time this regular season's over from having played this schedule. I just think there's one more week of a struggle.
A very, very possible first of 2 meetings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. And so that's going to bring us to our spotlight game of the week, which is BGA and FRA. And I'm going to load Scott's special pick while Joe talks to you about his.
I don't have anything this week. I couldn't find anything of note mask-wise because apparently finding a mask is impossible. So hold on. I'll be right back.
Should ask me. No, this is entertaining TV. It's a wall.
I'm rolling with the cats.
Which ones?
The Wildcats. She was a former feral cat, and now she's a domesticated queen. Go Cats. Honestly, surprised she let me do that.
All right, we'll talk about these picks here just real quick. We've all got BGA. Really by a couple scores in most cases.
Yeah, I think the FRA offense will test this BGA defense more than anybody has to this point. The BGA offense is just too good, in my opinion. FRA may get a stop or 2, but that's not enough.
Yeah.
If you're FRA, you need to make this a low-scoring game. You got to control it on the ground with Mike Castle. You need to get Amari Sanders involved in the passing game. It's hard to pick against BGA because of how good Caden Marable's been, and just not even him. They are firing on all cylinders in every phase of the game. They've passed every test. They've dominated every single game. It's hard. I mean, would I be shocked if FRA won this game? No. I admittedly, because I picked FRA to win state going into the year, and maybe I'm regretting that a little bit, knowing what BGA has now. But it is what it is. Should be a great game. FRA can come out and make a statement and say, "Hey, everybody, shut up about BGA. We're here too," and I wouldn't be shocked at all by it.
Well, FRA has done some things that found ways to come up with points, whether it be kick returns, punt returns, interception returns. they have to do that. They have to make BGA do something that they don't do, which is turn the ball over and give up cheap touchdowns. If they do that and they play and force and play the pass well, force BGA to run the ball, they can stay in the game. They've got a chance, but it's got to be flawless. You can't get into bad situations with penalties. You're going to have to force penalties and turnovers. NBA played a doggone near perfect game last week and won. There's no saying that FRA can't do that, but playing a perfect game is so hard that I just could not go against the Wildcats here.
BGA has just been a different animal so far this season, and until there's evidence to present otherwise, I can't pick against them. I mean, they're in that win column for me until further notice. All right, Scott, let's see about our other pick.
Okay. It is time for the pick. And this week's spotlight game is FRA and BGA. Okay, let's see what happens. This is just so much CTV. I thought for a while Butchie was going to be the star, but Sonny's come on of late.
Oh, well, tease.
Looks like Sonny is chosen. Yeah, he teased that a little bit. He didn't eat anything over there.
Snack. Riveting.
We're going to call this a win for FRA. It's confirmed. Now, usually it's where they're eating from, but I looked at it and I was like, well, he jumped up on FRA, and then he confirmed it by eating there. So Sonny's becoming quite the star. Butchie is just he may be too good for us. I don't know.
Quite the trickster.
Yes.
Definitely deception involved in those picks now. So they're learning.
The spirit of Reggie continues.
Yeah. All right. One final word before kick. I'm gonna let you have it, Scott.
All right. Okay. Guys, I want to talk to you about the dangers of scheduling good teams on homecoming. Too many of you guys are doing that. Tradition holds, and back in my day, you scheduled a pretty sure win on homecoming. It's a lot harder to enjoy post-game festivities when you just got your butt chewed by your coach. Your girlfriend starts to wonder what it's like on the other side of the county, and everything is just, it ruins everything. And it's really bad when that one historically underperforming school gets a chance to ruin your weekend. This week we saw not one, not two, but a myriad of homecoming losses by teams in our area. And I know in one case for certain, those teams had been homecoming sacrifices in the past, and they remembered. And for all those teams that are still scheduling those teams that you historically use as a punching bag for homecoming, watch out. It is amazing how quickly you go from butcher to sacrificial lamb.
That might be your best one yet. I'll give it to you on that one. That's well done. Cam, you're up.
Yeah. Good week of football. I know we've had some rain this week, but that's supposed to move out. It's supposed to have some good weather on Friday. Some, I think, low to mid 70s maybe as a high on Friday. So excited about that. If you don't have a game in your area to go to, one cool thing going on is they are doing I guess you would call it like a flashback type event honoring the Tobacco Bowl Jamboree in the game at Charlesville County versus Smith County. TSU's band of aristocrats will be there They'll perform at halftime. They'll march around town before the game. Pretty cool little deal. That's something that TSU used to do before the Tobacco Bowl back in the 70s and 80s, I believe. So super cool deal going on there. So if you're not going to a game this week, think about going to check out the Creek Bank. Go check out TSU's Band of Aristocrats. And I know we haven't hit on it in a couple weeks, thanks to Lookout Pest Control, thanks to AccuWorks, 10-7 Barnes. We're still needing Player of the Year sponsors. We are at the halfway point of the season. We would like to get those trophies ordered. So if you or anyone that you know of a small business that would like to sponsor the Player of the Year awards for the 615 area, please reach out to us at the email listed here, and we will make that happen at a reasonable price for you.
Players get a belt. It's resplendent.
I gotta ask, Joe, is that the longest we've ever gone without a mention of where?
Yeah, nobody's going to Narnia on Friday. Sorry, Cam.
An hour and 49 minutes.
That is cool though. I saw that band on Saturday. They performed at the walk we were at. So cool. Very cool band. TSU's band is the best around. Love them. My final word. We are 9 minutes away from the first episode of Love to Hate, Gallatin and Hendersonville. Isaac killed it. He did an incredible job with this project like he always does. He's the best around for a reason. Really appreciate him and all the work he does for us. We did our small town project for Watertown. That's out now too. And then next week we'll have the third episode of Into the Hive, really focusing in on kind of a game day atmosphere at Springfield and obviously leading into basically the region championship against Pearl. So a lot of big things on the horizon for us. And Chris is just such a bad champion that next week we may debut something that gets the belt off of him potentially. Who's to say? So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, about that. We'll see. That's all I got to say. I was kind of in this situation last year, maybe not to this degree, but I'm Mr. November for a reason. I'm not done yet. Anyway.
8 games back.
Thank you all for putting up with our general ridiculousness that we usually have every week. It's always fun to do this every Wednesday night with y'all. Don't really have a lot to say this week. Just get out and enjoy the games and, make sure and just conduct yourselves the best way you know how. And hopefully we'll have some great football to talk about again Saturday morning. 9 o'clock, the scoreboard show is going to be on. And, join us for that as well. Love to see a big number of people watching tonight. So thank you for that. This has been a good first half of the season so far. Looking forward to the second half. That'll be fun.
Yep.
And with that, we're done for the night. For Cam, for Scott, I guess for Joe as well. I'm Chris. We're out, and we'll see you guys Saturday morning, 9 a.m. for the 615 Prep Scoreboard. Also, this time again next Wednesday for 615 Preps Live, presented by AccuWorks. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you soon.